You think that you're married to a man with a bad temper, right? You roll your eyes at him. You even tease him about being grumpy. Maybe you even joke to your friends, right? It's just how he is. But his anger isn't just a mood and it's not random at all. His anger is actually a weapon. Tell me it doesn't shape your marriage, right? It dictates your whole house. It keeps everyone, you, the kids, everybody walking on eggshells. And here's what you probably struggle to realize. You don't call it abuse, but it is. I'm Lisa Sonni, a toxic and abusive relationship expert and certified coach. I help women see what's really happening, become emotionally healthier, exit abusive and toxic relationships, and heal. So if this is hitting home already, I want you to hit subscribe because I have a ton of relatable videos that you don't want to miss because you're going to learn something. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to expose why he's so angry. It's not what you think. So please stick around until the end. Now, when I say angry man, I want to explain this, right? I don't mean the guy that screams at the top of his lungs or throws things across the room. Some men do that. That is definitely abusive. But the man that I'm talking about doesn't even have to do that. He doesn't have to explode. He controls the entire house without ever raising his voice. He sighs when you ask for help, right? He mutters every time you're cooking. He gives you one-word answers that shut down every attempt you make at an actual conversation. And then when he's really done, he goes completely silent, right? That silent treatment, it could last an hour, it could be the whole weekend, but either way, it works. You fall in line, you avoid him, you stay quiet, and that isn't him losing his temper. I want you to see that that's strategy. Think about Saturday mornings, okay? You wake up, you make your coffee, maybe you try to suggest something fun for the family. This guy's already irritated. Maybe the kids are too loud, or the dog is in the way, or you dared to ask what he wanted for breakfast. His sigh is enough to kill the entire mood. Even the kids back off. You start tiptoeing around him. You just want to keep the peace. But what happens now? He gets his Saturday. Nobody bothers him. Nobody asks him to help with the groceries or coach a soccer game or even go on a family walk. His anger bought his freedom. Now, family dinner. Everybody's sitting at the table. You try to make small talk about your day. Maybe the kids talking about school. He's barely participating. Maybe he's scrolling his phone or gives short, clipped answers. But the kids look at you, not him, when they want to share something because they know that he's either going to ignore them or just cut them down. Pretty soon, dinners become quiet, right? And it's not because the kids don't want to talk, but I think everybody has learned don't poke the bear, right? You don't even have family dinners maybe anymore because of this. The table starts to feel like this battlefield, something you want to completely avoid. And bedtime routines are the same, right? You're wrangling kids into pajamas and brushing teeth and finishing homework and calming them down after a long day. You ask him if he can help, right? And he huffs and he says he's tired and he disappears into the bedroom or he plants himself in front of the TV to watch or play a game. So you end up doing it all. And then you convince yourself that it's actually just easier this way, right? It's better that he's out of the way because at least you're not getting snapped at or the kids aren't getting snapped at. But what's really happening? His anger gave him a pass. He opted out of being a father and you covered for him. And even if you have older kids, right, they just shut themselves in their rooms to avoid him at bedtime. They would rather escape into screens or music rather than risk dealing with their own father. But that's how it plays out, right? Slowly over time, you stop asking for help. It's easier to do it yourself rather than to risk his irritation. You stop sharing your feelings because they're only going to get dismissed or turned against you. You silence yourself to avoid his moods. You just don't talk to him anymore. And he benefits because he gets to live in a house where you manage everything, right? The meals, the laundry, the kids' homework, emotional support, and he does the bare minimum. Now, the kids learn this too, right? They learn never to bother dad. They stop bringing him their problems because they know that he's just going to brush them off or he's going to get pissed off. So they keep their distance. And here's one of the most dangerous parts. Boys grow up thinking that a man's anger is supposed to control the home, and girls grow up thinking that love looks like tiptoeing around and self-sacrifice. That's not just grumpiness. That is generational damage. And outside the home, he doesn't even act like this. That's another reason that this is honestly so confusing because at work, he's reliable. With his friends, maybe he's even funny. With his family, he's basically fine. People kind of like him. But when you try to explain how heavy this feels at home, nobody sees it. They're like, really? He seems like such a nice guy. And then you start to wonder if you're the problem. Maybe you're too sensitive. Maybe you nag too much. And that's how women get stuck, right? You're doubting your own reality. But he's got an excuse for every one of his moods. He's tired. He's stressed. He had a hard day. And you believe him because so much of it sounds reasonable. This isn't who he always was. Who isn't tired, right? Who doesn't get stressed? But the truth is, his stress never seems to go away, huh? His mood is constant. He doesn't get stressed and then apologize later. He doesn't have a hard day and then he tries to make it up to you. The pattern never changes. That's the difference, right? We're not talking about a rough week or a bad mood. This is this man's way of life. And then there's this, and this one actually just pisses me off. He just shits on your joy, right? You bring home a new piece of like home decor or something that made you happy. It's something small. And he's got some crappy comment or dig to make about it. Maybe he rolls his eyes or he's like, what a waste of money. Or where are you even going to put that? You can't even share a little piece of happiness without him raining on it. This is also the guy who doesn't smile in family photos. We've all seen this guy, right? If he does, it's that sort of tight-lipped fake grin that you recognize right away because he doesn't want to be there. He openly treats you like you're an inconvenience. And if this is familiar, I want you to drop a comment because I bet you any money that there are tons of women that have been through the exact same thing. You tell yourself that this isn't abuse because he doesn't hit you, right? He's not screaming at you. He's not out drinking. He's not cheating. He pays the bills. He shows up to the school concert. He's at the family barbecue, at least sometimes, right? You minimize it by joking, he's just cranky, he's just grumpy. That's marriage, right? But here's what makes it abuse. It's abuse because he uses his anger to control the entire atmosphere of your house. It's abuse because you silence yourself and shrink and stop living just to avoid setting him off. It's abuse because his moods decide whether the family has peace or misery, and nobody else gets a say in that. Abuse isn't just physical. It's when one person controls another through fear and silence and intimidation. And that is exactly what is happening here. So why do women stay? Because you don't see it clearly. You tell yourself it's not that bad or that other women have it worse. You convince yourself that you're the problem too, right? You're too needy, too sensitive, too demanding. You tell yourself that leaving over just anger feels silly, feels ridiculous, right? You can't end your marriage because he's grumpy, especially not when everyone else thinks he's such a great guy. But while you are spinning in all of this doubt, he's getting exactly what he wants. He gets a marriage where you and the kids do all the bending and he never has to change. And men, oh, they love to say that married men are unhappy because of their wives, right? She's a nag, she's annoying, she whatever. Why be married? If he is so miserable, why get married? Why did you ask her? Why stay married? Because he benefits from marriage. Don't you ever let a man tell you that men don't benefit from marriage. They are lying to you and they are lying to themselves. Married men make more money, they live longer. Men benefit from marriage because they get stability, the house, the kids cared for, the meals, the sex, the social image of being a family man, all without ever having to show up emotionally. They get a full life built around them and they do the bare minimum. And when they use anger as a weapon, they keep all of those benefits, even though they're dodging all responsibility. And then they have the audacity to try to convince women that women are the ones that are benefiting from marriage. Meanwhile, women often lose in marriage because they take on the bulk of the invisible labor, right? Cooking and cleaning and childcare and managing schedules and emotional support, all of it. They lose their freedom, their time, and often career opportunities because they're the ones that are expected to flex around the family's needs. They lose safety. They lose peace of mind when their grumpy husband's moods or anger control the entire house, right? His needs become centered and hers, they're minimized, if anything, right? And socially, if the marriage fails, women carry the blame and men often walk away with 0 or less stigma. Okay, so why does he do that? Why does he do any of this? Why does he choose anger as his go-to? Yeah, he's choosing it. Because it works. Anger is his shield, right? It protects him from intimacy and responsibility, from having to show up as a real partner or actual father. Every sigh and every eye roll, every sarcastic jab, it keeps you at arm's length. And it's not really just a shield, right? It's actually his leverage because it gets him out of chores, out of conversations, out of accountability. You stop asking, you stop expecting, and he gets to just coast along. He chooses anger because it lets him avoid. He avoids you, the kids, any emotional labor that comes along with actually having a family. You know, the family that he allegedly wanted, but he still gets all the benefits of marriage: the meals, the clean house, the kids are cared for, that social image, and the sex. And he can coerce that out of you, right? Like you think that maybe giving him sex will be the thing that makes him less angry. But that's not true at all. And that's the payoff. That is why he stays angry, because anger buys him freedom and you do everything. Maybe this guy takes the garbage out, right? He mows the lawn, he does the man stuff, but he's mad about that too. He does it begrudgingly. He makes sure that you know that he doesn't want to be doing it. So even the scraps of help feel like another punishment. So if you've been telling yourself, oh, he's just grumpy or it's just his personality, I want you to sit with this. You're not married to a man who's moody or has anger issues. You are married to a man who uses anger as his weapon, who keeps you small so he can stay comfortable, who gets to avoid his family while still reaping the rewards of having one. That is not a partnership. It is not marriage. It is survival. And if you're ready to stop living this way, you can work with me in private coaching sessions or in my group programs. The links are going to be all in the description. And don't forget to subscribe because I've got more videos coming that will keep exposing these dynamics so that you never mistake just angry for justified again.